Goldie Hawn, Debbie Harry, Pam Grier. These are just three of the lovely ladies that every man fell in love with in the 1970s, and many are still in love with them today. But how did these gals become so glamorous? Facts Verse happily presents this 70s star was every man's dream girl, and you should see her now. Goldie Hawn. The 70s were a new golden age for American cinema, so it's no surprise one of the defining actresses of the decade was Goldie Hawn. She solidified her status as one of Hollywood's most endearing and versatile actresses. She was known for her charm, sexiness, and comic timing, making her the perfect woman and the dream girl for every man coming up in the 70s. She began in the 70s with her breakthrough role in the sketch comedy show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. On the cusp of the 70s, she acted in and won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in 1969 for her role in the film Cactus Flower. She continued to dominate the big screen with hit after hit in films such as There's a Girl in My Soup, Butterflies Are Free, and the Sugarland Express. And for the most part, it was all uphill since then, and she's had very few flops. But what about today? Today, Goldie is one of the most powerful figures in the industry. While she's reduced her on-screen appearances, her impact is far from forgotten. She's embraced a philanthropic role, co-founding the Hawn Foundation, which focuses on promoting mindfulness and mental health and well-being. She still acts on occasion, and her most notable works in recent times have been films like The Banger Sisters and Snatched. Goldie Hawn's enduring charm, talent, and commitment made her a dream girl in the 70s, and she's still the dream of many men today. But she's Kurt Russell's gal, fellas. Sorry. Debbie Harry. Debbie Harry is frontwoman of the band Blondie, which made waves in the 70s, and she's still winning people's hearts to this day. In the late 70s, Blondie shot to fame with popular songs, including Heart of Glass, Call Me, and One Way or Another. She was a punk, but also a goddess. She was talented, sexy, and charming. She was every man's dream girl, but you should see her now, still just as dreamy as ever. Today, Debbie remains an active force in the music industry. While Blondie's commercial success has endured, she's also ventured into various solo projects. Of course, she also made an impact in films, perhaps best known for her roles in films like Videodrome and Hairspray. She acts occasionally today, and while she's not as famous as she once was, she's still on many men's minds. Pam Grier. When the Commodores sang Brick House, they might have had Pam Grier in mind. She made one of the biggest impacts on the film industry for women, and especially for black women. She was known for her fierce presence and powerful performances, and she became the symbol of black women's empowerment at a time when diverse representation was rare. Her breakthrough came with her role in the cult classic film Coffee, where she played a vigilante nurse seeking revenge. This role established her as the queen of blaxploitation cinema, a genre that celebrated strong black characters. She followed up with other great films like Foxy Brown and Sheba Baby and Friday Foster. These few films were enough to craft her image as a tough woman, and it's what led to her career revival in the 90s when she was cast in Jackie Brown, directed by Quentin Tarantino. She still acts on occasion, and while her roles are diverse, there's one thing that stays consistent. She always plays strong female characters. She's written her memoirs, and she often makes appearances on talk shows, radio shows, and now podcasts to discuss her career and the impact she's made. Whatever she's doing, she's still winning hearts. Candice Bergen. Candice Bergen enjoyed a successful career in the 70s, and while she's still acting today, it's not as frequent. But she was a dream girl in the 70s and is still adored today. Candice rose to prominence with her role as the titular character in Murphy Brown. She managed to transition from being a model to acting, and it's on the small screen where she became a star. But her talent also transferred over to the big screen. In the 70s, she appeared in hit films such as The Wind and the Lion and Starting Over, both of which won her critical acclaim. Today, Candice remains active in showbiz. She's won acclaim for her role in Boston Legal and films like Home Again, Book Club, Let Them All Talk, As They Made Us, and an upcoming sequel, Book Club 2, The Next Chapter. On TV, she won acclaim again for her role in the sitcom The Connors. She's still considered to be one of the best actresses of her generation. Bo Derek. Bo Derek became one of the most endearing sex symbols of the 70s, rising to fame with her role in the film 10. This film featured the now famous scene where she's running on the beach in a revealing bikini, and it's what kept cinema goers from making return trips to the theater. She also made waves in her first film called Orca. Throughout the 1980s, she continued to act in several successful films, including Fantasies and A Change of Seasons. She still acts on occasion, and most notably, she starred in the Indian film 5 Weddings and won acclaim for her role as Mandi Singh Dhaliwal. Apart from acting, she's been focusing on animal rights activism. She served on the California Horse Racing Board, and she also owns a ranch where she breeds horses. While we don't see her as much these days, many men who grew up in the 70s and 80s still can't get her out of their minds. Faye Dunaway. Faye Dunaway's career took off in the 70s, following the success of Bonnie and Clyde in the 60s. She's known as one of the great actresses Hollywood has produced. In the 70s, she delivered a series of acclaimed performances, including her Oscar-winning role as the merciless TV executive Diana Christensen in Network, still hailed as one of the best performances of the decade. This followed up with her dark role as the troubled femme fatale in Roman Polanski's film Chinatown. She also won acclaim for her roles in films such as 3 Days of the Condor and The Towering Inferno. Today, Faye Dunaway continues to make occasional appearances in films and TV projects, though she's largely slowed down and makes rare public appearances. Nevertheless, her dedication to her roles in the 70s is still discussed to this day. Sally Field. Sally Field has had such a successful career over the years, it's hard to pin her down to just one decade. But it was in the 70s when she first stole our hearts. She began her career with her role as Sister Bertrell in the show The Flying Nun. In 1976, she appeared in the film Norma Ray and won an Oscar for the role. She starred in major films like Smokey and the Bandit and Sybil. Let's just say it wasn't just Burt Reynolds who had the hots for her. Even as she got older, she continued to be endearing and appeared in hit films such as Not Without My Daughter and Mrs. Doubtfire. She acts on occasion today, but has largely retired from show business. She's also involved in activism for a number of causes such as women's rights, gay rights, and climate change. Diane Keaton. When The Godfather ends, a door is closed on Diane Keaton's face. But her face, her beauty, her charm, and her talent is not something we can ever forget about. She became a star with her role as Kay in The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. But her work with Woody Allen in films like Play It Again, Sam, Love and Death, Annie Hall, and Manhattan is really what made her every man's dream girl in the 70s. And she still acts to this day. While not as frequently, she's still considered a great sex symbol. One of her most well-known roles in the 2000s was in the film Something's Got to Give alongside Jack Nicholson. It showed she still had her charm and was still as talented as ever and a sex symbol. Now it's time to hear from you. Who of these ladies was your favorite? Let us know in the comments section below.